Hi everybody. So, sorry the lighting is so bad in here, first of all. I have been wanting to make a pregnancy vlog. In case you're wondering, vlog is like, it's a blog, but it's V-L-O-G, it's vlog, because it's a video with like a blog about yourself or something you're passionate about or something. So anyway, I've been wanting to do a pregnancy vlog for a long time now. I am currently 14, tomorrow I'll be 14 weeks pregnant. So the reason I've been wanting to do this ever since I found out I was pregnant, but the reason I haven't is because I have been super duper sick. So it's been awful. But I'm feeling much better now. The reason that I want to do this is just to let all my friends and family know how I'm doing, and just to kind of keep people updated on what's been going on and everything. I have a lot of friends and family that don't live in the same place I live. They live out on the West Coast, so all my family's pretty much there. I have some family in Toledo and stuff, so I wanted to make this just to kind of keep in touch with them and let them know how things are going, and also just so maybe like someday I can kind of look back at this and just sort of laugh and make fun of myself. I don't know, whatever. Of course, I make fun of myself all the time anyways. So this is my very first pregnancy vlog. I am 14 weeks. Tomorrow I will be. The first, we found out, oh boy, I found out I was pregnant, like, I think in January sometime. And I took a test and everything, and it's kind of funny because I've heard that the dollar store little pregnancy tests work just as good as the legit, you know, I don't know, like $30 tests or whatever. So I was in the dollar store one day. Well, first of all, I volunteer sometimes at the homeless shelter here in Marquette, and I was scheduled to volunteer one night, and I asked, oh, I didn't feel good. I felt nauseous and like throwing up and everything. So I called and told them I couldn't come in. I just felt horrible. I felt like dying. So then the next day I was totally fine. And it was the weirdest thing, and I was like, well, that's weird. So I went in, I was scheduled to volunteer that night too, so I went in and I volunteered and everything was fine. Then I went back home, and I thought, well, that was really weird, and I didn't think anything of it at the time, but it was just kind of in the back of my mind. So then I was in the dollar store a couple days later, and I saw a little pregnancy test there, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll just give it a whirl. So I bought 3 of them. They were $1, so $3, not going to kill me, right? So I bought 3 of them, went home, and I took, this was about maybe half an hour before my husband was going to get home from work. So I took them, all 3 of them were positive, and everybody said, like, oh, the dollar store ones work just as good as the more expensive ones, and I was like, you know, and I took them and I was like, these stupid things don't work. They threw in the trash, and I was all mad. So then it clicked, it dawned on me, like this light bulb was like, ding! So I thought, oh my goodness, because I was kind of putting all the pieces of the puzzles together about how I wasn't feeling good, and then the pregnancy tests and everything. So I ran to, well, I didn't run, but I drove to Walgreens, and I bought like the most expensive pregnancy tests they had. I bought 2 of them. They came in a 2-pack, so it was insane. I feel so guilty. It was like $25 for 2 of them. They don't even have the little bars. They just have it just says pregnant or non-pregnant. So I took those 2, and they both said pregnant. So I was like, well, guess I am. I guess I'm pregnant. So then I have this little baby bonnet, this little vintage baby bonnet. I would go get it, but I'm too lazy. But it's really cute. It's just a little vintage baby bonnet, and I have been saving it for about 5 years now, about since I got married. And I went and hung it on the doorknob of our door, and I put a little sticky note that said, "Guess what?" So when my husband came home from work, he saw it, and he was like, "Ah!" Like, he was all excited. We were just so excited. We were in the kitchen, and I was crying. It was just such a great moment. So, anyways, that's the big, long story about how we found out and everything. We had been trying, so we weren't super surprised. Well, like, we weren't, like, yeah, I guess we were. We were trying. We were ready to have kids, so we had been married 5 years. Well, this August it'll be 5 years, so we were ready. So then, let's see, after that I was okay for a couple weeks. Then me and my family took a trip to Toledo, Ohio to see my grandma's 93, and my cousin and aunts down there, and my uncle, and well, I have 2 other cousins down there too, but just to go see some family. And when it seems like as soon as I left with my parents down there, I started just feeling really, really sick. On the way down there, actually, my dad, I had to throw up in a bag. My poor dad was like driving, and I'm like in the back, just throwing up. So I threw up a couple times on the way down there on the drive, and then pretty much the whole time we were down there like 4 or 5 days or something like that. I was just so sick, and it was really hard because I didn't really get to enjoy. I don't know, I kind of did. I still really pushed myself, even though I felt horrible, and I spent time with my family, even though I just felt awful. I just tried to hide it, and but there was one day when they all went to the Toledo Zoo, and they left me. Well, they didn't like leave me. I had to stay in my grandma's apartment because I was so sick. So that kind of sucked because I love animals so much, and I love going to the zoo. It's like my favorite. But I had to stay home. So, anyways, so it's been rough. Ever since that, it was kind of just a downhill spiral. I was really, really sick up until about a week ago, maybe a week and a half. I just started feeling better about a week and a half ago. Before that, I was throwing up like 7-8 times a day. I could go into the gory details, but I'm just not going to because that's rude. But my husband was trying to like get me to go to the emergency room, and I kind of thought about it, and I was like, well, let's just wait and stuff, because I had a couple of really bad nights. So anyways, a week and a half ago, more like a week ago, it seems like as soon as I hit week 12, right after that, as soon as I got into my second trimester, things started to go a little bit better, and I went from throwing up 7-8 times a day to like 1, 2, or 3 times a day, which is a big improvement. So anyways, that was just a horrible time. And while I was going through this, I started an apprenticeship program. I don't know what the difference is. I think they're the same thing, but internship, apprenticeship, whatever. A program at a local salon here in town for aesthetics. I'm learning how to do like waxing and facials and stuff like that. It was way cheaper than school, and it takes less time, so there's something to do. So I've been doing that, and luckily at the salon I'm apprenticing at, the bathroom is like way in the back, and it's kind of mostly famous for tanning, so the tanning beds are really loud, and so people couldn't hear me like throwing my guts up in the bathroom. So it was kind of nice. Even though I don't like throwing up and it's not fun at all, it's kind of worked out good. I just kind of sat there and studied and read a book, and then every once in a while I just had to go do my thing. So that's how things are going there. So I'm just sorry, I'm trying not to make this video super long. So we wanted a home birth originally, but and there are several reasons why we both wanted a home birth. If you want, I can make a whole other video on that, but I really don't want to get into the details. But to make a long story short, we had been praying and praying and praying, and we can't find a midwife. So I was just kind of like really stubborn about it at first, and I'm like, no, I want a home birth, you know. So I just started submitting to God and being like, well, you know, whatever God wants, you know, whatever His will is, I'm okay with. And I slowly started to submit myself. This was really hard. I could just see God just laughing at me. Like, you're so ridiculous. Anyways, so I started going to a doctor in town. My friend recommended him. He's really, really great. He's kind of, oh, my phone's making this. He's kind of a hippie like I am. I want to try to do everything as natural as I can. So he has really agreed to play by my rules, which is really awesome. I told him I don't want any drugs, I don't want any needles, I don't want any of those wires hooked up to me. Anyway, there's all these reasons why I don't want, like, why I wanted a home birth, and so I explained to him. The funny thing is he was actually talking me into having a home birth, this doctor, and I was like, really? And like, he's like, yeah, you're healthy, you're young, there's no reason why you can't have a home birth, so you should just go for it, and I'll be your doctor up until you find your midwife. And that made me like him even more. And I'm not really much of a doctor person. Like, I hate going to the doctors. I'm the crankiest person in the world when I go to the doctor. Anyways, so he's really great. He's a real answer to prayer. So now cravings, I haven't really had any weird cravings necessarily. I've heard some really weird stories about women that have craved like dirt and like chalk and like pickles and ice cream at the same time. So far I haven't had any of those. I've been craving grapes a lot. Like, I can't get enough grapes. One time I went to the store and I bought 2 big bags of grapes, and they were all gone within like an hour. I was just like a mad woman, like a crazy grape lady. So I've been craving grapes a lot. I've been craving tangelos. I don't know, if you don't know what tangelos are, they're, I think that's how you say them. They're like oranges and tangerines mixed together. So they're really good. They're really tangy. They're like more sour than a regular orange. I just like them better. And they're really easy to peel. They're like fun to eat. So, and then I've been craving chicken a lot, like any kind of chicken, and especially the last like 2 months, I've been craving Buffalo Wild Wings for like 2 months now. And finally, just last night actually, my husband got home and from work. He was working afternoon shift, and he got home at like 11 or something like that. and I think like we talked for a little bit and stuff till like 11:30, and I was like, hey, can we go to Buffalo Wild Wings? I know this is crazy, but and I thought he was gonna be like, oh, I'm really tired from work, but he was like, sure, let's go. So I was like, yes, like I was so excited. So we went there, and I got my chicken wings finally. So we went there, and we were there till probably like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning. It was so awesome. We had the best waiter, and I just love that place. Their chicken wings are amazing. So I've been craving chicken a lot, and it's funny, I was even getting like headaches. The last 2 days I've had this huge headache, and it seems like after whatever I did last night worked, because today's the first day where I just haven't had a headache in about I don't know, like 2 months or so. So I know last night I took a bath. That might have helped, like maybe the warm water, the relaxing, I don't know. Either that, I think it was the chicken. That's what I think. I think it was the chicken wings that made my headache go away. So then I've been craving pasta a lot. I really love pasta. So those are the 4 biggest things I've been craving. I haven't really been craving anything else, I don't think, so far. But I'm going to try to make one of these maybe like every other week or something, just so I can keep myself updated. Sorry it's so long. I'm like going on 16 minutes now. Anyways, so I've been really a hermit the past 2 months or so. I kind of pulled away from everything because I was going through such a hard time. And people always say, well, it's the it's the physical stuff, it's the throwing up and everything. But for me too, it was an emotional battle, because I'm normally a very social butterfly. Like, I'm always going out to dinner with my friends and like doing things all the time. I had to just completely be a hermit because I was so sick, and I felt awful all the time. I pulled away from church. I pulled away from just everything. I mean, I think I maybe missed like 3 or 4 Sundays maybe, which for me that's a big deal, because I'm kind of at church like, I don't know, a lot during the week, like 3 or 4 times a week. Sometimes it depends. So I did start going to night service, because that really, I mean, I still felt horrible most of the time, but I would feel better at night than I would in the morning. But I don't know, it was just random. Sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I felt worse at night than I did in the morning. But anyway, so it's been really tough. But hopefully things are getting better and looking up. I'm feeling really good today. And I'm even though that was so horrible to go through, God really helped me through it. And one of my friends at church asked me, like, well, how are you doing with God? And because I think he had gotten worried because I hadn't been going to church, and kind of just, he might have been concerned that I had maybe fallen away from my faith or something. And I told him, I was like, I've actually never been better. Even though I wasn't really going to church that much, I was clinging to God so much, because he was literally all I had. Like, I mean, he still is literally all I have. I didn't have my friends, I didn't have my activities, I didn't even have my church family, really. I mean, I only just had God and my Bible to keep me company during the day. Even my family, like, my family's all in California pretty much. My parents, and I have one sister, but they live 90 miles away, so it's not like they could just pop in and see how I'm doing. And then I had my husband, but he works a lot, and he was working 12-hour shifts a lot, and so I was just really lonely, and but I don't regret that time, because I think I really started clinging to God, and I think I really needed that. Well, we all need that, so, and my husband, Wes has been really, really awesome. I mean, we had a really tough start in our marriage, and there were times when, I mean, I think anybody would be lying to themselves and to others if they said that they never thought about leaving, even in the heat of a big fight or whatever. I can't even believe, lately I just can't even believe I would have those thoughts ever, because he's been amazing. Like, he's been just like, when I'm throwing up, like, he holds my hair up and everything. He just rubs my back, and I'm such, I don't know, I'm kind of somebody, I'm the youngest, I'm used to being babied, and I really, it's so hard for me to admit this, but I really need that. Like, I need that comforting, and Wes has just really been great. He's just been so awesome, and he's even been, like, helping with the housework, because normally I do everything around here. I clean, I vacuum, I do the dishes, and I take out the trash. I mean, all the house stuff, the shopping and the grocery shopping and stuff like that. I do all of that. So that's kind of like all my thing, because I'm like the good little housewife. So, but he's been like even picking up after me and just cleaning after me, and just really being there for me, and I really appreciate that. And he's been there emotionally for me, like, just amazingly. I can't even believe I ever thought horrible things against him, because he's just been awesome. He's been very understanding. So I've really been not myself. But I feel like I'm getting back to my old self now, and hopefully I can start just getting back into things, and I've learned a lot, and even just in the first trimester I've learned so much, and I'm just so excited about the future. And it was funny, I was talking to my friend last night, and normally I hate reading, but I've been so bored when I'm not feeling good, and I can only watch so much TV. Like, we don't have cable, but like movies and stuff like that. So I was actually reading quite a bit. So I've been reading this book, The Power of a Positive Wife. And it's really good. I haven't gone very far in it. I actually started this like last summer, I think. I got it at a garage sale for like 50 cents. It's really good. I've even like highlighted some stuff. So I'm really enjoying that book, and I agree with most of what she says. I don't agree with all of it, but I agree with most of it. So it's mostly a very, very good book. But I'm only this far through it. So and then I've been kind of poking through this one, Ask a Midwife. It's not necessarily about midwives, or like, I mean, it's kind of just looking at pregnancy through, excuse me, it's another thing, I've been burping a lot, but it's kind of just looking at pregnancy through both the doctor's eyes and a midwife's eyes. But I love it because I have a really short attention span, which is why it's really hard for me to read. So I love the way this book is set up, because it's just got like little questions like that. Just really, it's almost like a magazine. There's just like little easy reading things. So I've really been enjoying that. And of course, I've been reading my Bible like crazy. And I have been meditating like on Psalms 139. I know it's so cliche. We always see Psalms 139 and it gives us those warm fuzzy feelings. But honestly, like, this has really helped me. It says in Psalms 139, verse 7, "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. If I rise in the wings of the dawn, if I settle on the far side of the sea, even there your hand will guide me. Your right hand will hold me fast. If I say, surely the darkness will hide me and the light become night around me, even the darkness will not be dark to you. The night will shine like the day, for darkness is as light to you. For you created my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are beautiful, I know that full well. So that's kind of the passage of scripture that really stood out to me because honestly, that first trimester was one of the most horrible, probably the most horrible thing I've ever had to go through as far as health-wise. And I know that so many people, I mean, I would complain and a lot of times I would do like a Facebook status and I would say like, oh, please pray for me, my head hurts so bad, or I'm throwing up like crazy. But then sometimes I would just delete it because I felt kind of like convicted because I was complaining so much, because so many people go through worse things than that, just way worse as far as health, and I felt really bad. I felt like I was just feeling sorry for myself so much, but at the same time I felt so horrible, and it felt good to complain sometimes. So it was just, but as far as me, like my life personally, that was the hardest thing I've ever had to deal with as far as health-wise. So I'm really glad, and I hope it's over. I know that we plan on having other kids, so I'm gonna have to go through it again. But so that passage of scripture really helped me, and I don't know. It's just because, like I said before, I really didn't have. I mean, I have friends where I am so blessed. Like, I have so many friends where I know that if I would have called them in the middle of the night and been like, hey, will you come be with me? You know, I'm so lonely. They would have been like, sure, and they would come over, and, you know, and I know that. It's just that me personally, like, I just didn't want to bother anybody, and God was just all I had, you know, and He's just really been there for me, and I just really learned to cling to God, which is really what I needed most. Everybody's been very awesome, though. I've been getting cards and flowers. Two of my really good friends actually came to the salon I was apprenticing at and brought me flowers and prayed with me and everything. It was really cool. And that's actually right when I started feeling better, so their prayers are awesome. So anyways, that is my 14-week update vlog. So if you didn't know what the word vlog meant before, now you do. So I'm sorry it was so long. You don't have to watch this if you don't have to. If you made it this far, cool. But I just definitely made this for just my friends and family and people that are nosy, I guess. So I'm going to try to do one of these like maybe every other week. I'll try not to make them as long. This one is really long probably because it's my first one. So, and I had to tell like the story about how we found out and stuff. So I guess that's all I have to say, and I just wish you the best day ever, and I pray and hope that God is working in your life somehow, and I will make another one of these in probably a couple weeks, hopefully, if I get around to it. So, alright, talk to you later, bye!